Most Marvel villains don't die at the hands of the Avengers. They die at the hands of their writers. There are deaths in the MCU that weren't written as epic finales. They were written as punishment. Characters who were removed from the lore in such brutal and miserable ways that they left audiences genuinely disturbed. And these are the fates Marvel would probably rather never talk about again. Loki knew he couldn't beat Thanos. That's what makes this death so brutal. When Infinity War begins, the battle is already over. The Asgardian ship is destroyed. Heimdall is dying. Hulk has just been humiliated. Thor is lying on the floor, unable to stop any of it. For the first time in years, Loki isn't the smartest man in the room. He's just another victim, but he still tries. He pretends to surrender. He hands over the Tesseract. He acts exactly like Thanos expects him to act. Then he sees an opening and pulls a dagger. It's a desperate move, but it's also one of the bravest things Loki ever does. Because this time, he isn't fighting for power. He's fighting for his brother. He's fighting for his people. And Thanos crushes that hope instantly. He catches Loki's attack without effort and wraps a hand around his throat. What follows isn't a battle. It's a punishment. Thor is forced to watch while Loki slowly suffocates in front of him. Every second lasts too long. Every second makes it more obvious that nobody is coming to help. Then Thanos snaps his neck. No last-minute trick, no illusion, no escape.
No resurrections this time.
The god of mischief spent his entire life surviving impossible situations. The writers finally decided he wouldn't survive this one. And they made sure his brother had to watch. Thanos. At the end of Infinity War, Thanos achieves the impossible. He wins, half the universe disappears, the Avengers fail. Every sacrifice they made amounts to nothing. For 5 years, Thanos gets exactly what he wanted, a quiet life, a completed mission, a universe that finally matches his vision. Then the Avengers find him, and the punishment begins. The first shock is seeing what Thanos has become. The man who once looked unstoppable now looks exhausted and broken. Using the stones to destroy the stones nearly killed him. Then comes the real twist. The stones are gone, destroyed. The thing he sacrificed everything for no longer exists. His life's work has vanished. The Avengers realize there is no way to undo what happened. Thor realizes something else. Thanos has already won, so he does the only thing left to do. He cuts off his head. That's it. No epic final battle, no desperate last stand. The greatest villain in Marvel history dies sitting in a chair on a farm. But that's only half the punishment.
What did you do? I went for the head.
Years later, another version of Thanos arrives from the past. He watches his armies disintegrate. He watches everything he planned collapse in front of him. Then he suffers the exact same fate he forced on trillions of others. He turns to dust. One version loses his head. The other loses his entire future. For a man obsessed with destiny, the writers found 2 completely different ways to destroy him. Yellow Jacket Darren Cross wanted to become the next Hank Pym. Actually, that's not true. He wanted to become better than Hank Pym. Smarter, more successful, more powerful. For a while, it looked like he might get exactly what he wanted. He built the Yellow Jacket suit and turned one of the greatest scientific breakthroughs in Marvel history into a weapon. Then, everything went wrong. When Ant-Man sabotages the suit, Darren begins shrinking. At first, it looks normal. Then, he keeps shrinking, and he doesn't stop. His body starts collapsing inward. His arms distort. His legs twist. Every piece of him is compressed further and further beyond what a human body should ever experience. Marvel doesn't show much gore. It doesn't need to. Your imagination does the work. You know exactly what's happening. The writers could have simply killed him. Instead, they turned him into one of the most disturbing body horror scenes in the entire franchise. And somehow, they still weren't finished. Years later, Darren returns as MODOK. Not as a genius inventor, not as a successful businessman, not even as a normal human being. He survives only to become a grotesque joke. Most villains get a death scene. Darren Cross gets a death scene and then years of humiliation afterward. Mysterio, Quentin Beck spent his entire life trying to control the story, not the battle, the story. He understood something most villains never do. People believe what they're shown. That's why he built an empire of illusions, fake monsters, fake disasters, fake heroics. Everything about Mysterio is a lie. For most of the movie, it works perfectly. The world believes him. Spider-Man trusts him. Even the audience almost falls for it. Then Peter finally sees through the illusion, and the punishment begins immediately. The drones stop being weapons. They become evidence. The lies stop protecting him. They start trapping him. And then one of his own drones fires the shot that kills him. Think about how cruel that is. The man who controlled thousands of drones is killed by one of them. The man who manipulated reality is forced to face it. The man who built his life around deception dies because the truth finally catches him. The writers didn't just kill Mysterio. They made sure his own creation pulled the trigger. Ronan, the accuser. Ronan believed he had been chosen. That's the best way to describe him. By the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, he isn't acting like a soldier anymore. He isn't acting like a villain. He's acting like a prophet. The Power Stone convinces him that nobody can stop him. Entire civilizations fear him. His enemies are hopelessly outmatched. And Ronan knows it. That's exactly why his ending is so brutal. The writers don't give him a glorious death. They don't give him a worthy rival. They don't even give him dignity. Instead, they humiliate him. The man who wanted to be feared across the galaxy is remembered for getting distracted by a dance move.
Put it together. What are you doing?
Dance off, bro! Me and you!
That's the punishment. A fanatic who believed he was carrying out divine judgment doesn't die as a conqueror. He dies as the punchline of a joke. And by the time he realizes what's happening, the Power Stone is already tearing him apart. Not every punishment is physical. Sometimes, humiliation lasts longer than death. Wenwu spent centuries conquering the world. Empires rose and fell while he remained standing. Nothing could stop him. Then he met his wife, and suddenly power didn't matter anymore. When she died, Wenwu became obsessed with bringing her back. That's where the punishment starts. By the end of Shang-Chi, he genuinely believes he can hear her voice calling to him. He thinks she's trapped behind the dark gate, waiting for him. The audience knows the truth. The voice belongs to a monster, but grief has blinded him. The cruel part isn't that Wenwu dies. It's that he learns the truth seconds before it happens. The moment the Soul Eater grabs him, everything becomes clear. His wife was never there. The voice was fake. The promise was fake. The hope was fake. And after centuries of power, Wenwu dies as a manipulated old man who sacrificed everything for a lie. That's psychological horror at its absolute worst. Arnim Zola. Arnim Zola was terrified of dying. So he did something almost nobody else in Marvel ever attempted. He escaped death. Instead of letting his body fail, he transferred his consciousness into a computer system. His body disappeared. His mind survived. For decades, wars ended, governments changed, Hydra fell and returned. And through all of it, Zola remained alive. From his perspective, it was the ultimate victory. He beat death itself. Then the writers punished him anyway. After decades of survival, a missile wipes out everything. One explosion, one moment, and all those years become meaningless. Zola spent his entire life running from death. In the end, it still found him. Karis spent thousands of years believing he was a hero. He followed orders. He trusted the mission. He sacrificed everything for a purpose greater than himself. Then, he learned what that purpose really was. The emergence would destroy Earth. Millions of lives would be lost. Everything he had protected would disappear. And suddenly, his certainty vanished. What makes Ikaris different from the other villains on this list is that nobody kills him. He punishes himself. By the end of Eternals, he can no longer live with what he's done. He betrayed his friends, he betrayed the woman he loved, and he nearly helped destroy an entire planet. So he flies directly into the sun. The imagery is beautiful. The meaning is brutal. After thousands of years of loyalty, the only judgment Icarus cannot survive is his own. Cassandra Nova. Cassandra Nova spends the entire movie treating people like toys. She digs through minds, manipulates memories, destroys anyone who stands in her way. Inside the void, she acts like a god, and for most of the story, nobody can challenge her. That's what makes her ending so satisfying. The writers don't just kill her, they erase her. By the time Cassandra is caught in the Time Ripper, she has completely lost control of the situation. For the first time, power isn't enough. For the first time, knowing everything isn't enough. For the first time, there is no escape route. The woman who spent the entire movie violating other people's minds is trapped inside a machine that tears her apart at the atomic level. It's one of the most visually ruthless deaths Marvel has ever put on screen. Not because of blood, because of what it represents. Cassandra spent her life acting like she was untouchable. The Time Ripper proves she was wrong, and that's why she belongs at the end of this list. Because the most painful villain deaths aren't always the most violent. They're the ones where the writers decide a character deserves punishment, and then make absolutely sure they get it.